My landlord evicted me during a blizzard for asking to fix the heat, so I bought the building and kicked him out. The porcelain vase shattered against the frozen pavement, sending shards of cheap ceramic flying into the snowbank. I stood on the sidewalk at 6 a.m., shivering in a parka that wasn't designed for 5 below zero weather, watching my landlord, Mr. Henderson, throw my life out the front door one item at a time. I told you to quit whining. Henderson screamed, his breath pluming in the icy air. He tossed my toaster onto the pile of wet clothes. You call the city inspector on me. You threaten me. This is my building. You're out. I don't care if you have a lease. It's illegal to evict someone in winter without notice. I yelled back, my teeth chattering. The heater has been broken for a week. It's 40 degrees inside. Not my problem anymore. He laughed, slamming the heavy oak door. Sues me. By the time you get a court date, you'll be frozen stiff. I didn't pound on the door. I didn't beg. I called an Uber and loaded my soggy clothes into the trunk. I checked into a hotel down the street, cranked the thermostat to 80, and sat on the edge of the bed, feeling the heat return to my fingers. Henderson thought I was just a broke tenant living in apartment 4B. He didn't know I was a forensic accountant who specialized in distressed assets. I opened my laptop at 8 a.m. I didn't look for a lawyer. I looked for the building's financial records. It took me 20 minutes to find what I was looking for. Henderson wasn't just a slumlord. He was broke. The building was in pre-foreclosure. He hadn't paid the mortgage in 6 months. The bank had quietly listed the note for sale to avoid the hassle of a tenant revolt. I called my business partner, Mike. Mike, you know that capital we parked for the warehouse deal? I asked. I found a better investment. It's a 12-unit historic walk-up. Prime location. The owner is underwater. How fast can we close? Mike asked. Cash offer, I said, a cold smile spreading across my face. 3 days. But I want the LLC name to remain anonymous until the ink dries. We closed the deal on Thursday. On Friday at 9 a.m., I walked back to the building. The heat was still off. I used my old key to get into the lobby. He hadn't even bothered to change the locks yet. Henderson was in the lobby, screaming at the mailman. He lived in the ground floor manager's unit, rent-free, skimming the profits off the top. He saw me and his face turned purple. You, he roared, storming over. I told you to get lost. You're trespassing. I'm calling the cops. Go ahead, I said, leaning against the radiator that was ice cold. Call them. I'd love to have a witness. You think you're tough? He sneered, poking a finger in my chest. You're a loser. A tenant. You have nothing. Actually, I said, pulling a folded document from my inner pocket. I have this. That's when the real bombshell dropped. I handed him the deed transfer. I bought the building, Henderson, I said, watching his eyes scan the paper. I bought the debt, I bought the title, and I bought the LLC. As of 9 a.m. this morning, I am your landlord. He dropped the paper. His hand started to shake. This is a fake. You can't afford this place. Forensic accounting pays well, I shrugged. Now, let's talk about your living situation. I checked the rent roll. You don't have a lease for the manager's unit. You've just been occupying it as the owner. But since you're not the owner anymore, I pulled out a second piece of paper. A notice to quit. You're a squatter, I said. And I have a zero-tolerance policy for squatters. Especially ones who let the pipes freeze. You can't do this, he shrieked, backing away. It's winter. It's freezing outside, is it? I asked, looking out the window at the snow. Funny how that works. I seem to recall you saying, not my problem anymore. David, please, he whimpered, the bully act dissolving into pathetic begging. I have nowhere to go. My wife left me. This is all I have. You have 20 minutes, I said, checking my watch. After that, I'm changing the locks. And Henderson, don't break anything on your way out. I'll sue you for damages. He packed his bags in 15 minutes. I watched from the lobby as he dragged his suitcases into the snow, looking exactly as miserable as I had 3 days prior. I hired a plumbing crew that afternoon. The heat was fixed by dinner. The other tenants threw a party in the hallway when they found out Henderson was gone. Am I the bad guy for throwing an old man out into the cold, or did I just give him a taste of his own sub-zero medicine?